Cowabunga, dudes. It's hit play Fridays
Cowabunga.
here in old Studio 1722. Yeah, I'm Isaac. That's James. I don't know why I'm introducing us. You guys know who we are. We have been doing this quite a while now. Over half a year, by the way.
Yeah, really?
We're on episode 32, I think. This will be 32. Don't quote me on that. Don't at me.
Wow, episode 175? That's crazy.
Oh, geez. We're already on our 1,000 mark.
I mean, every episode could be someone's first episode.
Does it feel like half a year to you?
No, because I feel
Over
like
half a year?
it still feels like we do this so inconsistently. That
For as consistent as we do it, yeah. We'll peek behind the screens a little bit. We'll record some weeks on like a Monday, and the episodes obviously come out on Friday, and then the next week we won't record until like Thursday night.
Yeah. So
I think.
I think Google just crashed on
I think we're having some technical Okay, we're good.
We're still recording with Google.
OBS is still recording when my laptop is tripping out. Speaking of which, if you want to donate to the fund,
get you a new laptop.
Get me a new laptop. Black Friday's coming out. Anyways, this week we're taking it chill. No rewatches, even though a bunch of movies came out. It was a mixture of we don't have time or we don't care to watch any of the movies that came out.
We never got to use those free tickets.
Well, they don't expire till the end of the month or year. So.
Really?
That's what you said.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's what you told me.
I thought I said month, but yeah.
No, I heard year. I heard year. Regardless,
we didn't see a movie by the end of the month. So.
Yeah, there was. I don't know. Was there any movie that really? We talked about how October was jam packed with movies, and then we saw two movies.
Yeah. Well, it was also like it's one of those things where if you don't see a movie like the night it comes out, then reviewing it immediately at like later down the line feels almost pointless.
Yeah,
it's like it would have been cool to see The French Dispatch or The Last Duel, but seeing them and reviewing them a week or two after they come out already feels like
the way the schedule went. It was No Time to Die, and then we had a week off, and then it was The Last Duel, Dune, and French Dispatch. Mm-hmm. The Dispatch and Dune in the same weekend.
Yeah. So
it was like we can watch Dispatch, but then by the time we actually get to publishing this episode of it, it'll be already it's already 2 weeks. So it was kind of like maybe we'll go back in like a month or so.
The turnaround time required for this is not conducive to a weekly podcast format.
Yeah, I mean, if we got paid to do this, I feel like
we would do it every movie that came out.
No, I would be there every opening day. I would be at the movie theaters at least 3 times a week.
Yeah,
but we don't get paid to do this, so wink wink at our audience members. Anyways, regardless, so this week we're just going to be talking about some news, catching up on some stuff in preparation for our Paul Thomas Anderson rewatch, which is coming next week.
Licorice Pizza.
In anticipation for his new film, Licorice Pizza.
Which, by the way, I don't like that title.
I don't like the title either. Do you know where the title comes from?
No, I don't.
It used to be an old radio store in LA.
Oh,
in
really?
The 70s? 80s, whenever that movie takes place that's when that it's like a chain. I had to go deep into the comments on YouTube to find out.
It's still a bad name.
No, it's very not good. But it kind of, we're going off on a tangent. It kind of reminds me of like a crappy, like Clerks, but like a crappier version of Clerks at a pizza restaurant.
I can see that.
That's what that reminds me of. That
Licorice Pizza. That's what it sounds like, but that's not what the plot of the movie is.
No, the plot. No. But anyways, back on track. We are going to rewatch PTA's movies, all 9 of them, or 8. I think 8 or 9, in anticipation for our review of Licorice Pizza. Anyways, let's get to the news. Dune, let's just start right off the top of the bat. Phenomenal opening weekend. $41 million at the box office.
Nice.
Has since grossed another 15 last weekend to bring its domestic around, what is that, like 69,000 is what I'm reading.
69,000? Nice.
So, domestically, at least. I think
internationally, it still made like 100 million.
Yeah, it's made bank internationally, which is surprising because sci-fi epics starring American actors don't really do that well internationally.
Yeah. Usually in China,
especially because
not in Europe.
Especially because there's a kind of there's the language barrier and there's also a culture barrier, and so like having to represent the themes that are present in Dune and trying to translate them to other cultures is difficult.
Not a lot of desert in Europe.
Yeah, and it's also why you won't see a lot of comedies be successful overseas as well, is because that kind of
and it's also barrier. Why there's only like comedies will be exclusive to one country.
Yeah,
like Jerry Lewis in France.
Yeah,
or
now that we know how much it's made, its ad block is bothering me for some reason. Does that surprise you? I know you had mentioned that you thought it was gonna get close to the record of around 80, I think 80, 90. I was more modest in my estimations. Are you surprised that it made 40?
A little, yeah. I'll admit that. I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things where I don't really get hyped for movies that often. So maybe because I was actually excited to see this, I anticipated it to do well and to do better. Especially because, when Blade Runner didn't do well, when Blade Runner flopped, I felt like there were a lot of people were like, well, I'll make sure I see his next one.
Yeah.
But I guess, to be fair, it's also only recently got on HBO Max, hasn't it?
I think it was actually there day one, so I might have lied. No, actually, I didn't lie. Yeah, it was there day one.
Okay. So that's not including any of the numbers it did on HBO Max, of course.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd say I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, I think I went into this thinking that Denis is not a big box office hit. I mean, none of his movies have done remarkably well at the box office.
No.
And I think while you can lean on the fact that this is a book, and books tend to do well at the box office unless, your Eternals, or not Eternals, Allegiant, Divergent series, or what is that one with Chloe Grace Moretz? You know what I'm talking about, right? The Fifth Wave or something like that.
The Host.
But I think, was that a thing?
Yes, that was.
Okay. I think because this is such a weird book.
Oh yeah,
it's almost cult. It's almost like cult pop.
Yeah, it floats in between cult
and mainstream
and pop. It's one of those things where like it's a cult classic book, but a lot of people who are in that cult are like really
vocal.
Big. Yeah.
Because I don't think I ever knew about Dune, and I was a big reader, but I never knew about Dune until I heard about the movie.
Yeah. It's like you won't meet anybody who's ever read Dune, but you'll see Dune references in movies and TV shows and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, that was the thing that intrigued me was like Lucas has come out and said that this was his main inspiration for Star Wars, and like so many other science fiction writers and directors were like, Dune was the one that set us on our path.
Yeah.
And made, what we do possible, because without Dune, science fiction is really a thing in literature. And so that's what interests me. But I also kind of realized, like, I don't think, like, this isn't Hunger Games. Like, this isn't going to be, this was never a worldwide phenomenon.
Yeah.
At least nationwide phenomenon. So I think 40 million on a, what was it, like $160 million budget or something like that? I think.
Domestically, not including international.
Correct. Sorry. Yeah. We don't care about foreigners. We just talk about ours. $165 million budget. So 40 million opening weekend, $165 million budget. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Quarter of the budget back just domestically. Which paved the way for our next bulletin. It got greenlit. Part 2 got greenlit.
The long con paid off.
Which I think we both were kind of like, when you titled Part 1 your movie, you're getting a Part 2.
Yeah.
I think that was his way of strong-arming Warner.
Yeah, probably.
Like,
most
give
likely.
me Part 2 because everybody's going to be so mad at you.
Mm-hmm.
But he got it. And are you excited for Part 2? Now that by the way, we should note James is now 200 more pages into the book than he was when we reviewed it.
It was previously.
Yeah, so.
I would say I'm excited just because here's the thing, and I think this was one of my criticisms when we were reviewing the movie, but part 1 wasn't a complete story.
Mm-hmm.
It really was a part 1. And so I am now interested in seeing how they just... I'm more curious to see where they're going to begin part 2 as opposed to how much of the story they tell.
Yeah.
I'm just more interested in where are they going to pick up. Because I think, like I had said, there is a very specific point in the book when a character gets a certain name. They could have ended part 1 there, and they didn't. And I think that wasn't very smart of them to do. I'm trying to avoid spoilers in case somebody watches.
Go to watch our spoiler review, or just go read the book if you want to know what.
Yeah, go read a 800-page book and then come back and watch this video.
Yeah. It'll take you about...
Or at least read the first 500
depending
pages.
on how fast you read, it could take you anywhere from 2 months to like me, or 2 years.
If you don't want spoilers for the movie, just read the first 500 pages of the book and you'll be good.
Basically. Yeah.
Basically. I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, I think the book, I think I was happy with... To me, it made sense where they ended part 1, because I feel like part 2 is going to be, everybody praises part 1 for being this faithful adaptation, and it's this grand epic.
And part 2 is not going to be as faithful.
And part 2 is not going to be as much space politics as more as it's just like cool action sci-fi, which I'm cool with. I like cool action sci-fi. I'm not asking for space politics. So I think it's gonna shock people with how part 1 went. That part 2 is gonna be a little bit different. Not too much. It's still you're gonna notice that it's still the same characters and universe and
same actor, same director.
Yeah. God damn it! I wish they would recast the lead.
Zendaya will have lines in this one.
Jesus Christ, is that the biggest? I know we didn't really talk about this in our review, but that was probably the biggest. Like, why she is second build? I understand why she's second build, but why she is second build makes absolutely no sense to me. But
who knows?
Anyways, yeah, I'm excited. I think it comes out 2023 was what they said, so 2 years from now, which is about standard. Hopefully Timothy Chalamet gets some muscle on him. Actually looks, like a king or whatever he's supposed to be. Yeah, Duke. There you go. Thank you. I'm excited. Let me ask you this, because I've been reading comments about this. So there are multiple books.
Yes.
There's famously very god-awful prequels and spin-offs that
Frank Herbert wrote like 4 books.
Yeah.
And then I think it was his son, Brian Herbert, continued, and it is universally agreed upon that all the Brian Herbert books are trash.
Yeah.
And the Frank Herbert ones are good.
But
what was your question?
My question is, do you think this sets up a franchise?
No, I don't think so. I can imagine like part 1 and part 2 being, collectively considered very good movies and collectively getting a lot of recognition, publicly or critically or what have you. But I can't imagine it being a franchise. I can imagine ABC or NBC does like a Dune TV show.
That was going to be my
Children
question.
of Dune is going to be a little,
That's what I was thinking as well.
But I don't think it's going to become a franchise. No.
I don't think it makes enough money at the box office to be a franchise.
I don't think this is going to sound like a criticism, but it's not. But the universe and the world of Dune doesn't carry the weight of a franchise, I think. And there's no perfect way for me to explain it because it's kind of just a feeling I have. Part of it is the kind of stories that Dune tells.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's already so set in stone.
Yeah.
Part of what makes a lot of those franchises like the Marvel and the Star Wars stuff work is because they're like kind of just making it up as they go. As opposed to Dune, which was, you would have to pull from the books.
See, but my counter argument would be Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones was 6 books. Or what was it, 4 books, 5 books?
Yeah, but then what happened as soon as they started?
Well, yeah, I mean, it obviously got bad, but I mean, you can make multiple miniseries based off of the book.
Okay.
Off of the sequels.
That's fair. I didn't clarify. I was talking about the franchise as a movie franchise.
No. I would agree.
Show,
I would agree.
Yeah.
Because
I could see it as a TV show.
I could see them maybe doing one more. I think Children of Dune.
I was going to say Children of Dune could be a TV show.
That's the one when Paul's grown up, I think.
No spoiler
or it's like
for
his
the series.
It's not a spoiler. You can read it on the back.
True. Yeah.
You can read it on the back of the book. Or I think it's like his grandsons or something like that.
It's not a spoiler. It's the title of the book.
Yeah.
Children of Dune.
Yeah. It says Paul. It says like Paul Atreides' grandson.
Yeah.
Lives on. It's like, oh, okay, Paul lives.
Or at least lives on.
Yeah, I could see them doing that into a movie.
For sure.
It would definitely not. I don't think Denis Villeneuve would do it.
Oh, that as a movie or a TV show?
As a movie.
I was gonna say as a TV show.
I could see there being interest in it being a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I would put my money on it being a TV show.
The only reason why I think you would make it a TV show, and this would have to be the pitch for it, is that it would have to have more political and religious elements that the movie doesn't have.
They'd have to go full Game of Thrones, political thriller type of thing.
For sure.
Yeah, which they could do.
They could, or they could not. Who knows? We live in interesting times.
Yeah, who knows how well it would do.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything else to say about Dune.
Moving on.
It made money.
It made money.
It did good.
Some people saw it. Some liked it. Some didn't. Who was right?
I actually was surprised at the amount of positive comments it got.
I wasn't. I knew I had an unpopular opinion.
Because I sat there in the theater and I was like, man, I love this movie, and this movie is so meticulously paced. People are gonna dog shit on this movie.
You thought so?
I was like, nobody is gonna like this movie.
I had the opposite reaction. I was like, this movie is up most people's alley. I still don't like it, and that's gonna be the unpopular opinion. You never
Moving on. Nolan. Some big casting decisions have been made.
Speaking of unpopular opinions,
I don't know if it's super unpopular. So first off, we should note he's casted 2 so far, which were Emily Blunt and Cillian Murphy. Cillian Murphy's gonna play J. Robert, which is cool. Cillian's finally gonna get a lead role in a big movie, in I would say a franchise movie, because Nolan at this point is a franchise.
Yeah. And it's working with Nolan, who he's worked with before.
And he's very comfortable with Nolan.
Yeah.
And Nolan has actually, I think, talked about how he wants Cillian. He wanted Cillian, I think, for Batman. Like, he just envisioned Cillian in a leading role. But it's just like the right role didn't come for him. But anyways, 2 more casting decisions came. And they're interesting to say the least. We got Matt Damon and Robert Downey Jr. coming along.
So first off,
signing on as...
Who's going to play Einstein?
I think Einstein's going to be a surprise.
You think so?
You know how he loves to putting guests...
Last time he cast Matt Damon in the movie, nobody knew beforehand.
Yeah.
So
I think Einstein's going to be some... I don't think he'll be A tier per se, but I think it'll be like a really recognizable actor that nobody's gonna even know.
Gary Oldman,
probably, more than likely. Yeah, freaking Gary Oldman. Yeah, Damon and Johnny Jr. Opening remarks, thoughts.
Matt Damon, I can see, although Matt Damon is too much of like an action movie actor. Even his part in Interstellar, not a spoiler. Who cares? Even his part in Interstellar was like he was there for the fight scene, pretty much.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr., I don't know. I wonder if both he and Nolan understand gulags and if they will get along. But what are your thoughts?
I'm actually the reverse. I actually think.
You think Downey Jr. will do fine?
I think Downey Jr. will do fine. I think he's gonna play a very charismatic, flamboyant engineer / scientist or whatever. You know, I can just picture it now, him being like, "Oh, and there's that, and there's that," because that's Downey Jr. basically in a nutshell, which is fine, you know. But let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
So I think Downey Jr. is gonna work. I'm really interested to see what Damon is because, like you said, he's an action star for the most part.
Yeah.
Nowadays, so it's kind of
for him to do.
For what we understand of who J. Robert is, I don't think people are gonna be shooting each other and there's gonna be a big heist scene.
He could be playing a general or something.
He could go full Tarantino, alternate fiction, like the Germans.
Yeah,
the Germans steal the secrets to the.
The movie's gonna end with Matt Damon riding the atomic bomb like a horse down,
like in
Strange Love.
Yeah, it's just gonna go full Kubrick. Yeah, I don't know. This is gonna be. I have not been disappointed with a Nolan casting yet, except for maybe Insomnia with Pacino. Just felt like a wasted Pacino performance.
Do you think this movie is gonna be a comedy? No.
I
don't know. For some reason, when you said he's going to go full Kubrick, and I was like, oh yeah, Kubrick did make a movie about the atomic bomb. I wonder if he was going to go the same like parody satire route. But if it's like going to be an Oppenheimer biopic, that's probably going to be more.
It's based off of a book.
Yeah, so
it's based off of where's the book? I just saw it. The American Prometheus: The Triumph and Tragedy of J. Robert Oppenheimer. By Kai Bird and Martin J. Sherwin. Kind of want to read that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I think this is Downey Jr. starting to shed his MCU label.
Most likely, yeah.
Because I mean, he's worked with. Who has he worked with? Shit, is this his first big time director since MCU? I mean, he worked with I think Guy Ritchie on the Sherlock Holmes.
Guy Ritchie on Sherlock Holmes, David Fincher on Seven.
Yeah, but that was
pre-MCU?
I'm talking after the MCU.
Post-MCU.
Is this his first? Because he did Doolittle.
I don't follow his career.
He did Doolittle, which, put some respect on, I guess. Chasing that paycheck.
I can't say. I haven't really followed his... Yeah, I feel like he's done... Iron Man, and I can't really name much that he's done.
Which is kind of sad, right? Yeah, so he did
Sherlock Holmes.
Where we at? Can I just see the list? Thank you. Nope. I can't see the list. There we go.
Filmography. Wait, he has studio albums?
We're learning something new every day. All right, so here we go. 2008 is Iron Man. So he's in Zodiac in 2007. So this is pre-blow up. He blows up. And
that's it.
He hasn't been in anything since Endgame. He was
in The Nice Guys.
Was he? What? Oh.
He was
and then
Chef.
All-Star Weekend. Ooh. The TV show. Or film, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, so just Doolittle since he died in Endgame. By the way, he dies in Endgame.
He dies in Doolittle too.
Yeah. We had a whole funeral. Decapitated. I'm sad.
So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he can work with a big director.
No, it's gonna be fine. I think it's gonna be.
Well, I don't think he's gonna be bad, but is he gonna be like? Are we gonna be able to look past Iron Man?
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, is he gonna show up and just try to like? Is he doing it to shed his Iron Man, character? And is he gonna like do a whole like character role where he just like assumes a character, or is he just gonna be himself like he always is?
Play RDJ again?
Yeah, that's what I would be curious to see.
Yeah.
Now, what other Nolan favorites? Because Michael Caine has retired from acting, right?
Retired.
Retired.
He says that he'll still fly out to go film a Nolan movie.
He's probably going to be.
He's going to make an appearance.
Well. Yeah,
he's going to make an appearance.
Yeah,
we know that much. It'll just be like in Tenet when it's just one scene.
Yeah, probably.
He's sitting down.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do we think Tom Hardy makes an appearance wearing a mask? Is he going to be a Nazi pilot?
He is going to be Eisenhower. Or MacArthur.
What?
No.
He's going to be 50-year-old Dwight D. Eisenhower?
Michael Caine is going to be MacArthur.
Oh, jeez. I would pay to see that.
Or Gary Oldman. I could see him doing that.
I don't know why, but I'm getting a strong, like, Mark Ruffalo level cameo. Okay. Neighbors just randomly started to start screaming. Yeah, Mark Ruffalo type appearance.
Yeah.
Like not necessarily Mark Ruffalo, but Mark Ruffalo level actor.
Oh, okay.
Whereas like you know him, he's been in things you know of.
Yeah.
You know his name.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't call him an A-lister.
Yeah. Timothée Chalamet.
Oh my freaking god! If Timothée Chalamet's in this movie, I'm not gonna go watch it. I'm gonna go watch it, but I'm not gonna go watch it.
Close your eyes for that scene he's in.
Why? Can we talk for 2 minutes why Timothée Chalamet is in every goddamn movie? Why?
Because he's
not a good actor.
Man.
He's not a good actor. Like Leo made sense. Moment. Leonardo DiCaprio made sense when Leo was young because Leo is an actual good actor. Like Leo will throw himself into a role. Timothée Chalamet, I'm looking at a boy wonder do stupid things in the sand and you know mumble. Oh my god, you know I'm edgy and I'm cool and I'm so serene and I shop at Abercrombie & Fitch. Like no, I don't. Like you are not. I don't buy you as the Duke of Arrakis. Get out of my face with this nonsense. Jesus Christ. Stick to your boy rom-coms until you get like 5 years older and or you grow some facial hair. And get a new goddamn haircut. Why does he have the same haircut in every single movie? He has the same haircut in every single movie.
And in French Dispatch, they just made it larger.
Oh my god. Tom Holland's the same thing, but I don't care enough about Tom Holland. Tom Holland's not in every single movie.
Nah, you're gonna see the Uncharted movie.
Jesus Christ. Anyways. Emily Blunt. How do you feel about Emily Blunt?
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care whatsoever.
Cool. Good discussion. Moving on.
Well, how do you feel about Emily Blunt being in the movie?
Morbius? Did you see that trailer?
Morbius? I did not. Did you see the Lightyear?
I did. Let's talk. You want to talk trailers?
Surprisingly, what I liked about the Lightyear story that they're doing is I guess it's like an origin story of him.
No, so it's based off of. So the toy is based off of an astronaut, and the story is on that astronaut.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's kind of like an origin. Most people are going to see it as that because they're kids. But I thought it was when I first heard the trailer, I thought it was going to be a story inside Andy's imagination of what Buzz Lightyear did. I thought it was going to be, because before I even saw the trailer, I was like, no, scroll up. There's an interesting story that's there. Where? Yeah, Hodorowski. Look at that.
Where?
That one right there. We'll talk about that though. Anyway, Lightyear. I thought, because there used to be a TV show based off of the Buzz Lightyear characters, like the toy. Yeah. And I thought it was going to be a lot of people thought it was going to be that too. That's what I thought it was going to be. That would have been super cool. It'll be interesting. I don't know. As I've grown up as an adult who doesn't have kids and who is not a kid myself, it's hard to find the motivation to go and see Pixar movies or Disney movies.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to go watch that one.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen it. Well, I guess Toy Story 4. Before that, to actually go to the theater to watch
a Pixar
movie, I think probably Toy Story 3.
Yeah, probably.
Because every other one, it was just like, well, I know my cousins are going to put it on when they're around, like my baby cousins. So it's like, I'll just watch it when I'm around them.
Yeah, wait for Christmas.
Yeah. So it's like Luca I watched because we had my little cousin, and Coco I watched because my mom told me I should watch it, so I watched it. But I watched it at home. Like Monsters U. I watched.
Did anybody see that?
With my cousins. Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how it does. I mean, it'll do really well because
it's Pixar. It'll win the Oscar because it's Pixar.
Unfortunately,
go through that. Now here's a movie coming out that I see trailers for all the time, and that is House of Gucci.
Yeah,
and that was when we went to see No Time to Die. I think I had a trailer for it too.
Yes.
Just based on the trailers, it's a Ridley Scott, right?
Yes.
It's so incredibly uninteresting. And I blame 90% of that on Lady Gaga.
I blame 90% of it on the trailer. The trailer shows everything.
I don't know if it shows everything.
Well, yeah. I mean, somebody dies.
Well, I would have at least
now it's just like, all right, I'll just go look up the story of Gucci and find out who dies.
Between the Gucci movie and the freaking... there was a Netflix show about another head of a fashion house. And his name escapes me, but it also starts with a G. And he gets assassinated.
Versace,
I think that was it. Yeah,
that was American Horror Story or American Crime Story,
but
whatever freak it's called.
Anyway, yeah, doesn't even seem remotely interesting whatsoever, and I blame Lady Gaga because she has this super thick Italian accent in it too. We're at the point in communication with other humans on Earth. If you want someone in your movie to have an accent, hire an actor who has that accent.
Yeah, nothing bothers me.
We don't need Kenneth Branagh doing a Russian accent like in Tenet. We want to avoid that.
Just get a Russian.
Get a Russian actor. You're a director. It's your job to direct actors. And if you're afraid of directing somebody whose native language isn't English, that's on you and your producers. So just hire somebody with that accent.
I always enjoy when actors actually talk in their native accents.
Yeah.
Like Emily Blunt in A Quiet Place. No reason she needed an American accent.
Yeah.
No reason. The fact that her husband told her to speak in an American accent, she should be offended. I'm offended for her. Because she has a lovely British accent. It's so beautiful to listen to. And then she's just talking. She's basically mumbling the whole two movies. Like, I need water. It's like, no! This isn't Emily Blunt.
That's what I liked about Jojo Rabbit. They're all Nazis, but they all have British accents.
Yeah.
And I was like, back in the old days, we made all the British actors Nazis because we didn't want to hire Germans. But now this is pretty funny.
Yeah. You know who does it well? And this is just coming to me. Chernobyl, the TV series. Mm-hmm. They hired Stellan Skarsgård, who's Swedish.
But most Americans can't tell the difference between the Swedish and the Russian accent.
The lead is his name is escaping me, but he's British.
I don't remember.
They hired
his name whatsoever.
I think she's Russian. Another chick? There's like a bunch of other Eastern Europeans, but they specifically picked Eastern Europeans, like that sect of the continent because it's set in Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
But I was listening to a podcast with the creator, and he's like, yeah, we kind of experimented with them speaking in Russian accents, and then we were like, nah. Like, if you guys want to lean towards it, go for it, but just talk normally. I was like, thank you. Like, I appreciate this so much. Like, if you're going to cast people, let them do what they do.
Yeah. You don't want to end up with a Dick Van Dyke, Mary Poppins British accent.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Batman trailer.
Batman.
I can tell you didn't like it.
I didn't like the trailer. I'll still see the movie.
The movie interests you?
To see because with a young Batman, because whatever his last name is, Pattinson. I almost called him Patrick. Robert Pattinson is young.
Yeah.
Which implies they're going to do young Batman.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is specifically going to be based off of the definitive young Batman stories, the year ones and Long Halloweens, and
I heard Long Halloween was a big point of inspiration.
There you go. So, yeah, that I'm excited for, because those are seminal Batman stories, and
they're also not used a lot as inspiration. Like everybody always looks towards The Dark Knight Returns. They look towards A Killing Joke. They look towards Death in the Family as like the inspirations for Batman. So it's kind of cool to see other. Like, for sure. These are popular comics, but they're not popular enough to be used as inspiration. So it'll be interesting.
Not really by Frank Miller. Yeah.
It'll be. I'm really excited for this movie because Gotham is actually freaking Gotham for the first time since Tim Burton was. Look, I love the Nolan movies. I'm on record saying that they're one of my favorite trilogies. The one thing I didn't like about them was that it felt like I was looking at Chicago.
Yeah, which is on the one hand not necessarily a bad element of those movies either. It's just, I mean, different stories for different purposes, I guess. Yeah,
it'll be. I like it because I don't like. I want to see actual comic book environment, and for what we've seen from the trailer, this looks heavily comic book.
Oh yeah,
ish. So yeah, I don't know. To me, it looks like we're watching Seven. Does it not?
David Fincher movie?
Yeah.
Not to
me.
Like
the city feels very similar, where it's like this gritty.
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
Dirty. It's always raining for some reason.
Yeah.
Do you guys not believe in living somewhere where it's not rainy? Looking at you, Portland and Seattle.
I mean, what I would be interested to see is in the trailer alone, I loved a lot of the shots they used. A lot of interesting camera work. And that's what I would be interested in seeing used. Because I would love... It never happens, although I appreciate it from Christopher Nolan. But just someone... Like, when we say, like, be experimental or do something different or creative in a big blockbuster movie, that's the kind of little things that are just interesting to do, right? Shout out to Dune for not doing any of those things. It's just my personal gripe. Yeah,
it'll be that scene, that last shot when the car is upside down and then he's walking towards it. I was like,
oh yeah,
when have we ever seen somebody walk upside down towards another character?
Like, I've seen it before, but I've never seen it in a Batman movie.
I'm sure it's completely not motivated. I mean, I guess it somewhat is. The car is upside down. But like, there's 100% guarantee that the director and the DP were like, what if we just put the camera upside down?
Yeah.
It would look cool, right?
Yeah.
The fires going.
That's the kind of cinematography I wanted Joker to have.
Yeah.
And it didn't.
Yeah. And people were just happy because it was green.
Yeah.
And lit by neon lights. Or not neon lights, but fluorescent lights. Yeah, I'm really excited for this. It seems like Robert Pattinson's more edgy. Which, there's a shot where he's in his glasses reading the newspaper, and I'm like, oh, fucking God. Every Hot Topic teen is just freaking out right now.
Okay, calm down. Okay, hear me out. Young Batman, but it's Timothée Chalamet.
All right, moving on. Any other trailers you wanted to talk about?
No,
that
other trailers seen? I remember. Yeah, not that I remember.
The Witcher Season 2 trailer came out. Shout out to using rap music in a
high fantasy
Eastern European high fantasy novel / TV show. Didn't appreciate that very much, but different strokes for different folks. So IATSE,
yes,
allegedly has agreed to a deal with the AMPTP.
Nice.
So it looks like, I don't know. It doesn't say anything.
You might still have work. All of you on film sets.
When you worked on set, did anybody tell you?
It was the day afterwards.
Oh,
it
that's
was the
right.
weekend afterwards.
Yeah,
so everyone was like, we didn't even think we would have work today.
Yeah. Like, that must have been nice. Yeah, I remember that. Because I remember when we were talking about working on it, I was like, we're going to have a job in a week?
Yeah.
Like, we just signed on to work this cater. I mean, we're non-union, obviously, but we just signed on to do this, and it's like, oh,
most
by the
people
way,
won't be able to work anyway. Yeah.
2 months.
They're all going on strike.
It's like, Jesus Christ. Can I have anything?
They just had to come to an agreement over the weekend. Everyone comes back to work on a Monday.
So it looks like 10-hour turnaround time between shifts. MLK is now a holiday.
As it should be.
I agree. Increased funding of health and pension plans. 3% rate increase every year. That looks about the big stuff. I think the big thing was just the turnaround.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It was like a huge thing for people because...
It's nasty.
Yeah. Anytime you have to turn around in less than 12 hours, I remember when we worked on sets, they were specifically like, if anybody makes you work 11-hour turnaround, call us like that night because we will get on their ass. Yeah. And I was like, oh, nice. Yeah. I couldn't imagine doing that. Like, I was tired going back to back 12-hour turnarounds on a weekend. Yeah. And I was shooting like 4 days straight. And I was like, God, this is exhausting. I couldn't imagine doing that as a career. Yeah. So shout out to the Teamsters.
Seriously.
Everybody else under IATSE because you guys are the backbone, the often underappreciated.
Everyone on that film set for a project I don't think we can actually name publicly yet, but you guys are all amazing. You're all very nice people.
Any other news or anything you want to talk about?
Any other news? Freaking, however you pronounce his name.
Taiki Waititi.
To adapt legendary graphic novel The Incal as a feature film.
Is that a graphic novel you're
100? It's
familiar with?
It's called Legendary for a reason, my guy. It's Hodorowski. I love Hodorowski. He's amazing.
Okay.
It's drawn by Mobius, who is an amazing artist for any of you who love drawing. It'll be interesting to see. The only thing I don't know about is Jojo Rabbit directing. How do you pronounce his name?
Taiki Waititi.
Taiki Waititi. Taiki directing it. I don't know how that's going to go. He's an interesting guy because he feels like every film he does something different stylistically. And on the one hand, I respect that. On the other hand, I don't know if he can do something like the Incal.
What kind of graphic novel are we talking here?
We're talking largely dialogue-less.
That's like his whole shtick. Just having characters talk.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
So
I don't want to say shtick in a negative connotation.
At least maybe not so much like dialogue-less as much just visual focus. Anybody who's ever looked at the single page of it, the visuals are like the biggest standout. Yeah. Freaking dude was drawing most of that in like ballpoint pen. It's crazy. But yeah, it'll be I don't know. That's one of those things where it's like it's a material I like. Man, you fall for it every time. This is why everything is an adaptation now. They hate something you know and you love, and that just makes you naturally excited for the movie. And I'm like,
then you want to go watch it. Then it's almost like that's how the biz
goes. That's how it works. That's how they get you. Big Brother's watching.
Oh man!
Because Hodorowski is one of those. If you ever see a single 5 minutes from a single Hodorowski movie, nobody can direct nobody does what he does because no one's willing to. Not to say that it's like, he's so bad or he's so good. It's like, no, he just does stuff nobody else is willing to do. And it's like, I don't know. I'm glad he's not directing his own adaptation. Let me just say it might actually be accessible to most people now.
Here's something that's interesting.
I think we should talk about.
Last Night in Soho, the Edgar Wright film that I think we were both interested until we watched the last trailer, and then we were like, nope. We're out. $4 million opening weekend on a $46 million budget.
Yeah, that seemed about right.
That's bad. That's really bad.
It's one of those things where I think a lot of people were excited for Edgar Wright just because his name's attached to it. And maybe even to a lesser degree, Anya Taylor-Joy. However you pronounce it.
Coming off of the Queen's Gambit.
English. Yeah, coming out of the Queen's Gambit. It honestly, just nothing about the trailer interested me other than Edgar Wright's name being attached to it.
They did the classic, let's show everything as quickly as possible in this 30 seconds.
They did that, but also it's just, it didn't seem like a comedy.
I hate when they do that.
And Edgar Wright to me has always been good comedy.
Yeah, it was a thriller.
Yeah.
Which is, I can respect the director
doing something different.
Yeah, but at the same time,
it wasn't an interesting thriller.
It's like,
yeah.
Is this? What do we think? Is this career ending?
No, not at all. I saw a review on Instagram where somebody said that it got really bad in the middle of the film. It was really boring, but that it had a really great and amazing ending. No spoiler alert for any of the plot or anything like that. So, no, I don't think it's career ending. I mean, when you have Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Scott Pilgrim, The World's End, and basically Ant-Man under your belt, you're still going to get projects in the future. I mean, it's part of the reason why Denis Villeneuve still gets work, and yeah, he's made more than one box office bomb in a row.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion, though.
It'll be interesting.
I mean, did you anticipate it to do
well?
Yeah.
I did until I saw that final trailer.
Yeah.
And then when I saw the final trailer, I was like, nobody is going to go watch this. There's nothing remotely cool.
Yeah.
Like, Baby Driver was cool because it's like, dude, Getaway Driver, and it's Ansel Elgort, and it's cool tunes.
And it's Edgar Wright.
And it's Lily James. Yeah. And it's got a cool cast of John Hamm and Isa Gonzalez and John Burtnoff for like 5 minutes. Like, who's not going to go watch this?
Yeah.
Last Night in Soho, it's like Anya Taylor-Joy, who people want to peg as this next A-lister. I personally don't think she's really there. Like, just because you have one hit. Listen, everybody has a hit on Netflix. I'm like three contacts away from having my own hit.
I have a hit on Netflix.
Yeah. I just got to talk to the right person, and I will have a freaking hit on Netflix. So it's kind of like, I don't know. Like, is she really a big star? I don't think so. Timothée Chalamet, I can see, because Timothy's, in big movies.
I feel like she just got in a handful of good movies. Because she was in the one M. Night Shyamalan movie
That's
people
not even
didn't
a good
hate.
movie. Let's not even talk about that movie right now.
Moving on.
I hate that director.
Don't even say his name. Shyamalama Ding Dong. Whoa.
Yeah, it's interesting. That is I think he goes streaming.
I was gonna say I think his next. I was gonna say that too. His next stuff is probably
as much as I want to sit here and be like Edgar Wright. He has all these old movies. His older work is good stuff. It's older work.
On the one hand, I want to sit here and say I'm really disappointed it didn't do better. On the other hand, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
So I contributed to that $4 million.
The lack of the 20 million that he needed. Yeah. It's also interesting because Baby Driver did phenomenally well at the box office.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was his biggest box office hit in his whole...
At least one of them.
Filmography.
Probably.
I'm not going to go through and look through this. Yeah. I don't know. I think he goes streaming. I think...
he goes streaming and he starts working with Sean Penn again.
Sean Penn?
Is that his name?
Sean Penn?
What's his name?
Not Sean Penn.
From Shaun of the Dead?
Not Sean Penn.
What's his name?
Click
on it.
I'm trying to find it. Relax. Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg. I thought it was Sean Pegg. Okay, it's called Shaun of the Dead. Hear me out. Slip of the tongue.
Anything else for you?
Not at all.
Cool. We're out. Paul Thomas Anderson's next week.
Paul Thomas Anderson.